Hello, YouTubers and NFL fans everywhere. This is Matthew of Fanatic. I just wanted to say that I'm just going to put up a second part of my predictions because I was only at 2 games left and I didn't want to have to restart everything what I said. But what I was saying, though, about the Cowboys and making the changes is that I think if the Cowboys lose this game, objectively, you I think Dan Quinn could get hired as the coach. I think Mike McCarthy will get fired. And Dak Prescott now becomes, in my opinion, objectively in a spot to where I don't know if it's going to work out I don't know if paying Dak Prescott over $55 million is the right answer. So, but that's why I like Dallas here minus 7.5 and Dallas straight up. And in the final 2 games, the Los Angeles Rams over the Detroit Lions. This is one to where when you look at this game, I am going to take the Rams here based off the experience and the state of the Lions as of this moment. Okay. When you look at the Detroit Lions, they've had a sensational year. Sensational year. They've had a sensational year. And objectively, I think that for me, it's a factor of they are playing with house money, but this Lions defense, shout out to Halfman's Picks, I have not been impressed by it that much lately. There were moments where Nick Mullins was making big, huge throws to Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson. Look, the Rams have Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp, so that could happen. They're going to get Kyron Williams back there, who's a better running back than what the Vikings have. And I think the biggest issue I have is losing Sam Laporta is massive. He hyperextended his knee. He probably won't be able to play. And losing your second best offensive weapon in this game. I know Amon-Ra St. Brown's number one. He had 1,500 yards. Third receiver in Lions history behind Herman Moore and Megatron to get that accomplishment. Job well done to Amon-Ra St. Brown. But at the end of the day, I know the Lions fan base is hungry and they're motivated. And it's going to be a phenomenal environment to see Detroit in a prime time spot where their former favorite son comes back to town. I objectively believe that, to me, I would take the Rams to win just because I feel like that defense is going to get rocked by the Rams offense, both on the ground and through the air. And I just don't think with the Lions how they play, I don't know if Goff is going to be able to respond well enough. Look, and this is a great moment for this trade because you could argue the Rams and the Lions have kind of evened out, even though the Rams have a title. So you could argue, yes, the Rams won the trade by Stafford getting a Super Bowl. But objectively, I look at it saying this is going to determine the future of both sides. I feel like if Stafford wins, he goes into his third year of his contract safe for the most part and fine. And for the Lions, if they lose, I think Jared Goff will be the starting quarterback next year, hands down. But I do think there will be a question of what do we do with the future, and I think Hendon Hooker, who will become the definitive backup since Teddy Bridgewater is retiring, I think the Rams actually hold on in a way. The Lions start thinking of the future with Hendon Hooker more forward than Jared Goff. And I'll just say this: next year, if Goff gets hurt or Goff has a bit of a struggling period like he did in the middle to late part of this past regular season, I do believe the Lions would go to Hendon Hooker and make Jared Goff the backup, and then Jared Goff would be very much like Russell Wilson and Derek Carr over the last few years, where he would be out of his contract, and I think he could get a job, but then he just becomes a veteran journeyman at this point that is more of a bridge than a considered franchise guy. So, but that's why I like the Los Angeles Rams here +3 and the Los Angeles Rams straight up. And lastly, the Philadelphia Eagles over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is one to where, look, every sign is pointing out to this, to where the Philadelphia Eagles, they've lost 5 of 6. They look lifeless. A.J. Brown went down. Jalen Hurts went down. Sidney Brown, their third-round safety, tore his ACL. Fletcher Cox, the defense looks lifeless. Matt Patricia with his pencil, where you just want to stick that pencil where the sun don't shine to Matt Patricia. The running game looks inept. Jalen looks... It's all there for the Bucs to pull off an upset. But just to be fair, everybody thought that this could happen last year with how the Cowboys were playing going into that game against Brady. Okay, Baker's played better than Brady this year, but the Bucs did not really wow me with their game against the Eagles or against the Panthers. It was literally in one play. If they called that a touchdown, could have changed the game to those two plays. If that's called a touchdown, and that Panther kicker, Eddie Pinheiro, makes a 52-yard kick, the Panthers win that game 10-9, and nothing ever happens, and the Saints become the NFC South champions. Fortunately, those two things for Carolina did not happen. They got a turnover from Antoine Winfield, who got snubbed by the Pro Bowl, by the way, which was a darn shame that actually happened. But I'm going to take the Eagles here just because, again, I just trust in this spot. Todd Bowles and this defense, I do not think they're going to frazzle Jalen enough. And I think the Eagles have enough of a backbone and spirit to look at what's happened over the last 6 weeks and try to work on it, but say that, they are not that team that is on a 2020 Steeler trajectory of starting out. The Steelers started, I think, 11-0 and finished to 11-6 spot, 11-6 ending with the playoff loss to Cleveland at home. I just don't think this Eagles team, where we thought we were 10-1 and had some flaws going into that game. They had 4 double-digit, halftime deficits they had to overcome, including the one in overtime to get to 10-1. Now, you're cratered down to this bottom, and I think besides Nick Sirianni, the offensive and defensive coaching staffs will have to have changes, and I think the Eagles losing some veteran leadership and guys like Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, and possibly Jason Kelsey, it's going to make a whole culture shift for the Eagles, and I don't know if that's going to be the exact best thing moving forward. So, again, I'm going to take the Eagles. I have enough of the confidence in their coaching staff, the experience, and their backbone to be able to beat Baker and the Bucs on the road. The Cowboys did this last year, and they had their best playoff game in a while. I don't know if the Eagles are going to play exactly like that, but objectively, I'm going to take the Eagles here. Just a little bit better quarterback, and I just trust the Eagles in this spot to get redemption from Tampa last time as well. 2 years ago in Sirianni's first season, they made the playoffs 9-8. Played the Bucs and got shut out, and it was bad. I don't think they're going to look that bad, and I think they take redemption on that perspective, and they win the game. So that's like Philadelphia, -2.5. Philadelphia straight up. So those are my picks for this week. Like, comment, rate, and subscribe. So I'm going to put out 2 videos this week, and I just want to mention out to everybody that I was doing a video of something happened, and I was only 2 games away. So this, I know it's going to look weird having 2 videos, but I'm just going to put part 1 and part 2. And hopefully everybody out there, will take a listen to both videos, where I'll put timestamps as well for my predictions, just so everybody knows when part 1 to watch and when part 2 to watch for the others. And that is it. So good luck to all players, coaches, fantasy players, if you're playing any playoff fantasy, and fellow prognosticators. Look, we got 13 games to go. I want everybody out there to have a 13-0 week, except for the differences that any prognosticator will have with me. So I'm hoping everybody does well, except for the differences between you and between me and any other prognosticator. And that is it. So good luck to everybody out there. Enjoy these last 13 games. It's incredibly exciting with the stakes, but it's disappointing at the same time because we know that the season is coming to an end. And I will just remind everybody again, I will have a wrap-up video for the end of the year once the Super Bowl is over. I will put that out probably in the next few days, or the few days after the Super Bowl, and I will talk about everything, including my expectations for the offseason during that time. So, thanks everybody for watching. Best of luck this week, and until next Monday or Tuesday for the divisional round, this is Matt Duhon signing off. Until then, everyone, so long.